Scuffedcast. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun.
I had a guy come into my chat and he was like, hours, and I was like, oh, I got about 4,000 hours. And I get a little nervous when I say that because of, the climate of Rocket League chats. And the guy goes, wow, this is what 4,000 hours look like. Amazing. And I was just like, what? Wait, what? I was like, oh, thank you. I hope not for some people. Like, I really hope not. I was like,
Neato, I'm dead.
I know, but it was
She's
so,
like, wait, what?
Right. I was like, well, freaking thank you, man. What? I've never had anybody compliment me on my hours. It's usually like, wow, 4,000 hours, and you play like this, and I'm like, oh my god.
We sound so abused.
Right.
We sound so abused by the Rocket League community. We're so used.
The Rocket League
to,
community
like,
is brutal, man. Like, it's brutal.
Welcome to the 4th official episode of the Scuffed Cast, hosted by myself, Neato, and also Widow.
Hey guys, we're also joined by 3 gold-ranked Rocket League players. Trihouse,
Wow, hi.
Sir Classy,
I mean, I agree with Trihouse's gold rank, but
Oh, wow.
I think you can skip to Veeds here. Yo, what's up, guys?
and Veeds.
What's happening, guys?
Great start.
From peaked interest into the world of Rocket League esports to a lot of growth for the established content creators in the community, Rocket League is seeing record-breaking numbers right now, behind the scenes, up front, and as more people start to notice, all the potential is just absolutely blowing up. Opportunities in car soccer grow, so we can only speculate for now, but the future seems absolutely awesome. So let's start out with talking about the 3rd North American regional event that concluded last night.
Let's talk about the upsets of last night. I guess everybody had expectations for what was going to happen in North America. In EU, that happened beforehand, I believe. Were you guys watching the EU side of things, Classy and Veeds? The 3rd regional event that just happened.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Go on.
It was Vitality that won.
I pretty much missed like most of RLCS, so
It's okay. It's a lot of RLCS. I think it's overwhelming some people, but it's not. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just
I've
like
actually... Go on, sir.
you're good. No, go for it, Beats.
I was just going to say, I've been, like, way more invested in NA than EU this season. I don't know if it's just because it seems like NA's got, like, a top 8, sort of top 6, top 8 that are just there week in, week out, whereas EU is just a bit all over the place. Like, BDS have been, like, pretty dominant, and Vitality have been there, but then there's like loads of other teams that were expected to do well that have just kind of flopped.
Liquid.
Yeah. Oxygen.
Oh, Liquid.
The biggest org in Rocket League, right? Like, isn't Liquid probably like the
Right
biggest
now.
one?
Yeah, because Cloud9's out, so
Yeah, pretty
super
much.
disappointing for them probably, and doesn't like. But I mean, it's still early on because the way that it is set up. For NA last night, Energy, the first upset, Energy got swept by MV. They didn't win a single game. Looked really like shaky. People obviously Twitch chat was going insane. Like UC just let's go Energy, let's go. And then like as soon as one goal gets conceded, it's like, what happened to Energy there? They're like totally the worst team ever.
Energy
now.
washed.
Washed, right? That's the word I was looking for. It's crazy. It was crazy.
Did they actually play bad? Did Envy play well in that series, or did NRG
Envy
play
played
bad?
great. Envy played out of their mind. And so I don't, in my opinion, as the person who's the least skilled at Rocket League here, just from pure observation, like it wasn't that NRG was playing
Right.
poorly per se, except for Squishy did whiff at the very end, and that was horrible. But it wasn't that NRG was playing horribly per se. It was literally that Envy was top
Wasn't
form.
their
They
day.
were out of their mind. It was their day. They came to win, and they did it.
The same could be said about Kansas City Pioneers in terms of the SSG series that was played between Kansas City and SSG. I thought SSG didn't play at their peak form in terms of, like, I've seen them play better, but
Right.
Kansas City was just
I mean, fire.
there were pre-jumps after pre-jump that were like, Like, I couldn't process what was happening sometimes. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he knew to be there. Like, so Kansas City Pioneers just played really, really well. And it was a good series. Like, it was a good series. Yeah. So
I would rewatch it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where SSG, I think, out of any of the teams right now, each individual player's skill is like all so good. And sometimes it's just their consistency that's lacking. I think they just moved into a team house, which I thought was like super amazingly cool. And I think that's to get them ready for just that LAN feeling. I always felt like SSG weren't they notorious for not doing so well at LANs, but online they just dominate.
Yeah.
Hopefully Reddles will fix that, because Reddles has always performed very well at LANs.
They did okay in Madrid, but then when they came up against Dig, I think it was like their first like big, because obviously Dignitas were like world beaters at the time. They just flopped heavily. So it's just like whenever they're playing a big team on LAN, they just crumble.
So hopefully that will change.
And I will say about that whole series, like when we you said that, they weren't playing up to, like their top performance and things like that. I think honestly that when they went into the whole thing, they severely underestimated the Pioneers. I think they weren't, and to not be offensive, just kind of be out there, I just don't think that they thought they had to play at their utmost top form, because towards the last couple games, you could see them immediately step it up, and it became great Rocket League to watch. And you were like, oh my God, these games are nail biters and things like that. And at the beginning, I think they just underestimated them. And in fairness, I understand that. I mean, KCP has been severely shifting and soaring and beating a lot of teams, but like when it comes down to it, overall, I think the majority of people still think SSG, is a better team, and I think that KCP is slowly proving everyone wrong, that they're right up there with the top teams.
Do you know what I think it is, though? I think because Rapid and Beast Mode are like just insanely fast, like mechanical players. And
Beast Mode is Beast Mode.
And then everyone had just kind of written off Memory. Like, he was just like not on anyone's radar at all. But the way that he's played these last few days, he's like stepping up to the same sort of level as Beast Mode and Rapid, and it's like, to do that, to be that slower, less consistent player, to suddenly be on the same level as your teammates, like, I think that's what's taken a lot of people by surprise, because he was seen as the weak link on the team. So it could be that SSG just sort of like expected less from him, but it was a tad frustrating, really, because the past few days SSG have looked strong, even after like not practicing much because of the move. But
also, I will say that moving into a new house or a new situation, I think is, for me, could be like, I'm not even an RLCS player, but for me, changing anything about the environment in which I play in, so like there's an adjustment period that is, things are gonna be different. Like, especially like if you're playing on new monitors or anything like that, there's so many bugs you could have to problem solve with the game in terms of like frame rate drops, things. I mean, even if you play on different size monitor, your camera settings don't actually like look the same.
Different connection as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's a lot of things, and these guys are finely tuned Rocket League machines. And I mean they just moved down there. I think it was like 4 days ago.
That's his name is the grid.
Yeah, they were trying to set up everything for a couple days, and I think Arsenal tweeted out the day before RLCS something happened with the internet, like. And so I think
it was Reddles and Arsenal had pulled out the Ethernet cord or something. Like the port fell out of the wall.
Yeah, the port just straight up fell out of the wall, and he was like, "Well, this happened the day before regionals."
Wait, so is it just the players, or is Chrome there as well?
It's actually just Reddles and Arsenal, right?
Just Reddles and Arsenal for now.
I think maybe they're just
Sipical's a child. I think Sipical's still in school.
Oh, gotcha.
Fair enough.
Which I think Reddles is a high school senior as well, but I guess he's like doing his classes like online, and maybe Sypical isn't. I'm not sure the
was
situation.
The culture of the SSG boys.
Did you see the tweet that Rettles put out where it was just a video of him doing like a pan from like all the downtown scenery, and he panned around and it was like showing like the living room and stuff, and I was like, holy, like where are they?
Nice
like
view,
it's
yeah.
insanely nice.
Miami,
Where they
I
are.
think. I think they're
Bad
in
and
Miami.
bougie. Yeah.
In Miami,
Oh, really?
I think they just moved a Rocket League
downtown
house
Miami.
to Miami.
Like
Yeah.
it's such. It's so.
Don't
It
quote
looks
me.
so
I
cool.
don't know for sure, but that's what I
It
heard.
is Miami. Oh, that's
It is
like
Miami, yeah.
downtown.
Downtown Miami, like just chilling in like.
Oh my God, those
how
boys
many
are about
floors
to
up?
get so tan. And
I heard COVID doesn't even exist there.
oh,
Neato.
Neato.
That delivery was so good. God,
Thank
that doesn't
you,
even
thank you.
exist.
I just knew. I was like, wait, Florida.
Okay.
But yeah,
No.
so new environments can definitely have an effect on your gameplay. I mean, I was one Rocket League player a couple of RLCSs ago that had like angrily tweeted at Rocket League because he couldn't use a certain wheel at LAN. He was like, I
Yeah.
can't play without these wheels. It's like that's how like one little difference in
Well, it was
in
like-
what you do can change your gameplay.
You know, we were going to have the Intel Olympics event,
Yeah.
and for that you weren't allowed to use like licensed vehicles. So Cooksay wasn't going to be able to use the Batmobile.
And he was
What?
like, so I'm out. He was like, so I can't play.
No.
Wait,
dismay.
are you serious? They weren't going to let a pro player use?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
you
because it was a
can't.
licensed
It-
vehicle,
yeah.
he wasn't allowed to use it.
Rocket League doesn't own the rights to like, Batman
broadcast
products.
to the world. Yeah, you know. It
Wow.
was such a big event. Yeah.
I mean, that also has a lot to do with all the DLC stuff and console locks and stuff with after free to play too. It's why a lot of vehicles can't be used and things like that haven't been switched over. It's why only on Switch you get the Mario car and things like that because Nintendo
Yeah.
owns the rights. We can't even visually see it on our end. which is
That
weird.
is something I did not know was a thing. I guess it makes sense because like I've never seen Sweet Tooth since I moved over to PC, but when I played on PlayStation, I saw Sweet Tooth all the time.
Imagine
I have yet to
owning
look
the
that car
rights
up.
so specifically. Imagine owning the rights so specifically that I'm like, I'm not gonna let people on PC see it. You want to see Mario? Buy a Switch.
I think it
Yeah.
has more to do. I don't even know. There's like so many weird legal things like that. It's like, oh, if you're using like, let's say the Nintendo stuff was on a PlayStation, Sony would freaking freak the heck out. They'd be like, why are you advertising? So they would get in trouble with
I
the game. Would
guess.
get in trouble
That's
with the.
It's
Sony.
funny though because you look at it that way and it's like, well, we can't see the Mario cars, but then there's like you've got like Smash that's got like all these other licensed characters from different like games that
They have
Exactly.
the rights, so they've all
They-
like
they pay the
collaborated.
rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like with Minecraft. Oh my god, that is so insane.
Yes, that was
Minecraft and
hilarious.
Smash Bros. And apparently, like, it's a pretty well thought out character, and people are really liking playing him in the game. It's freaking hilarious. Wait, Trihouse.
Shut your mouth. Wait,
Wait,
what?
try. No,
They
there's no way
added
you've not seen it.
Minecraft Steve into Smash Bros. You can play as a zombie as well. It's like a skin.
Wait,
You
what?
can play as an
I
Enderman.
want to say that's the cringiest thing I've ever heard. I immediately am like, can we wrap up this podcast? I've got a meeting. Got a meeting with Steve.
Turn my
Dude, it
Switch
was
on.
so. You have to go and look up the trailer though because it is hilarious. It's just like
That's,
really-
I'm
you
putting that in my
expect
to-do
it.
list right now.
Yeah, and
I've got
everybody
it.
listening too. You got to go and look it up because it's not Rocket League, but it's still really cool in gaming to see that mashup happening.
That is awesome.
Something you don't expect, like Envy and KCP being in the final of the
Oh, yeah.
regional. And they took it all the way to game 7 with Envy. Like that last game where we're like, well, it's over for them, and they still made it to game 7. It was insane.
I was so hype. I don't think I've ever been so like hype over a team that I had no like emotional investment into. It was such good Rocket League. It was such good Rocket League.
And then it was a game 7 0-second goal as well, right?
Yeah.
Did everybody say this
Yes.
is Rocket League? At the,
I think that was
Did
just
you
you
try
trying.
house?
I didn't watch. I didn't watch.
all your
'cause
Okay.
I had already been through the Cowboys losing, and then I watched Space Station Gaming get eliminated in the semifinals, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm done watching competitive stuff
Wait,
right
was that
now.
you that tweeted about that? about Cowboys
Yeah.
and SSG.
Oh,
Yeah.
about the.
About them
right.
both losing.
I don't
something.
think I just tweeted out the word pain.
So yes, that was him who tweeted about.
Yeah, just
Okay.
tweeted out pain.
No, but talking about the finals and everything that just wrapped up, regional 3. One of the biggest confusions that I had in my chat, since there's a lot of new people to Rocket League, but they're immediately interested in esports, or the people who just come through because they're only interested in watching esports. A lot of people were confused. Like, they thought that this was, with the hype and the way the viewership was and everything, they thought that this was the world championship. And had to explain to them, hey, no, this is regional and not regional 1 or 2. This is our regional number 3. So I think we could pretty much touch on and try to explain to people a little bit about what this new format is, because I know that a lot of people, a lot of the times, myself included, are very confused on it.
Okay, so yeah, for the RLCS format, each regional event will feature a 32-team Swiss-style format. 3 wins and you advance, 3 losses and you're knocked out. Think of it as a triple elimination format. Are we going to talk about that?
I mean, it's the simplest thing. Like, it's a 32 team, 3 wins, you're good to go. I think it's a really simple way to kind of think about it and not get bogged down by the fact that there are all these different parts to it. And then the next split, teams will be split into 2 groups of 16, and will play out the Swiss format within their group. So the same style: 3 wins you go, 3 losses you're knocked out.
Yeah, so for those of you at home who've been watching these regional events, so that's why we have like Group A is playing on like the first day and Group B, and they're all doing that 3 format. So when you're watching and you're wondering, hey, is this it? Is this it? You can always go to the bracket that is on Liquipedia and you can look and see, hey, have they had 3 losses yet? If they have 3 losses, they're out and they don't move on to like the next stage. And if they have 3 wins, they are moving forward. It's 3 and 3
until the playoffs, and then it's single elimination.
The top 8 teams from each group will advance. The new group of 16 will play through another Swiss format. The top 8s will advance to a single elimination playoff bracket to determine the regional event champion. Okay, so that makes more sense. Yeah.
Right. It just makes so much Rocket League. So
I'm still hella confused though.
It is a
Yeah, so
confusing
this-
system, to be fair.
So like overall, this is going to happen 3 times a year. And so this is going to be the first time we see a major in this format. So that's what's coming up next. That's what all of this seeding and all of these regionals that we just watched through the last couple weeks are leading up to. Regional event 3 is done. They've been competing for points this whole time. And I'm not one to speak on exactly how the points have worked, but it did the seeding to get you into the major. And so now what we're going to see, the next thing that we're going to see in Rocket League is the major. So because of this new format where you're getting a year are 9 per region, like EU and NA, and I'm not sure if OC and SAM are the same, but specifically for NA and EU, you get 9 regionals a year and you get 3 majors. And all of that leads up to Worlds.
With $1 million prize pool in itself.
Is the major this year postponed, or is it like on land but nobody gets to go? Does anybody know?
It's not postponed. They posted about this on the website. It's happening, but it's happening the way the regional's been happening. We don't get a land because of COVID.
Right.
So the
it's all
major is
online?
still coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, the major
all
starts
online.
in 2 weeks, less than 2
Yeah,
weeks.
the major's in 2 weeks. And it's all online the same way that the
So
regionals have been.
tragic.
So
But
and it is tragic.
F
It's the
COVID.
cloud
Yeah.
servers.
Dang.
The issue
Well,
with
hopefully-
it... Go on, Neato.
No, you got it, Veeds.
I was just going to say, the issue with this is that obviously the major would have been both regions coming together, right?
Yeah.
Each major would have been EU and NA.
It would have been
and-
like a dream hack.
So it'd have been like a normal LAN where all the regions come together. But
Right.
because of it now, I don't know exactly how, how it's going to affect seeding and stuff for like Worlds. But because obviously you're going to have 2 winners. You're not just going to have a major winner. There's going to be an EU winner and an NA winner. So I don't know how it'll affect seeding and stuff, but the major it's got the same Swiss format as the last day of regional would.
If you go to the tabs for it says canceled LAN major, which would have been everybody. But yeah, on September 4th, it was announced that the big major was canceled because they couldn't bring the 4 regionals. So it's individuals. There's a European, North American, OCE, and SAM major going on. And so it's going to be 16 teams, the 16 teams who qualified through points. So it doesn't start 32 this time. It starts the top 16 that made it into it. It's going to be starting in 13 days. And then the top 8 teams move on to playoffs, and the bottom 8 teams are eliminated. And then a week later is playoffs. So it's not going to be like this weekend where it was like, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. And so, yeah, the top 6 teams that played through all of this and got the most points are moving on to the majors.
Is it only me that's been confused about the last 2 weeks? Like how it just feels like it's been non-stop Rocket League. Like they brought everything forward. Like.
Well, that's because of the major canceled LAN, because they now had to set. Okay. It was supposed to be 1 week, 1 week of, worldwide LAN, but now they had to make it into 4 different majors instead of 1 global major. And so they had to have time for it to fit. And I think they also assumed when they made all of these schedules originally, and I know there was a problem with the grid and stuff, and the reason it ended up getting pushed, that the school situations were different and things like that, but then people couldn't miss school, and then they had to push the grid times, and then the grid was wrapping up, and then they did this mega weekend because they had to suddenly make it all fit so that they could do 4 different major events. So Psyonix really is doing a great job at making it work, because I had fun with a lot of Rocket League. It was just kind of sudden seeing it all happen. But I had fun with there being a lot of Rocket League, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I feel sorry for the players, though, who are just like, hey, like how next or 2 weeks when this starts, they're going to have their things, and then they're going to move on to playoffs the next week. They just had to do like open qualifiers, and then the closed qualifiers, and then their playoffs, and all of this in like 3 days, and that is insane.
It's insane. I mean, they play Rocket League. They love it. They do it anyway.
Yeah,
they're looking for opportunities to make monies and for what they do. So what they're doing is worth it, the grind. But it is so much. I can't imagine.
They do grind,
and I think it's raising the competitive level a little bit here in terms of.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Because we're getting so much high level Rocket League being played, I think it's a lot of teams are starting to get better, and not just the top teams. Like Kansas City Pioneers, up until this season, they would not have been able to compete. And I mean, isn't Kansas City Pioneers, aren't they like 2/3 of Flight, right? Wasn't that the wait, who was on Flight?
No, Rapid was on Flight. Beast Mode's new, right?
Beast Mode's new.
Was Memory, I could be completely getting people confused. Was Memory on Rogue before?
Memory was on Rogue.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. He was praised with Turo.
Yeah, they changed a lot about every team, and it's just like you're seeing teams that weren't able to really like hold their own against these top 8s make some upsets, and it's. I think the system as a whole is working.
That are moving on to this major. I'd say there are 5 teams moving on to this major that probably wouldn't have ever gotten up here.
Do you know what's mental about it as well? You look at the standings for the 16 teams that have made it. Some of them have made it with like 150 points. Like that's literally just 1 good regional placing.
Dang, that is
like it's kind of crazy how many. Like you just need to pop off for like 1 regional, go through the open qualifier, make it to the stage 2 of the regional, and then win 3 games, 3 series. Make it to the stage 3, and you've already near enough got yourself placed for the major. It's kind of crazy.
All right, who's ready to run it? We got the minimum strat. Who's ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I tried and I got first down.
We're going to be the second SSG team. Wait, third SSG. Then
we're SSG 2. It's
We're
legal.
we're literally just
worry
gonna go
about
in
it.
with Scuffedcast.
Scuffedcast.
This is allowed. You don't think too hard about it.
Trihouse is the water boy.
I always like.
Yeah,
I
pretty
was,
much. Pretty much.
My
I was like,
mind
there's
was
got.
blowing when Scuff Station made it as far as they did. I was like, wait, what happens? Wait, what happens if they get even farther? Like, what are the logistics of that? What team are they actually on? Who's gonna sign them? Wait, are they just like? And I was just getting so confused. But then
Oh,
they ended
Ghost
up-
Gaming wiggled their way into the major.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. Can you believe, like, literally since the last podcast, Ghost Gaming's back in Rocket League.
True.
They picked up Omelet.
Omelet.
Do we
Which
think that
omelet?
C9 are going to come back anytime soon?
I give it a season.
Yeah, I think they'll wait until after Worlds.
I
Obviously,
thought
I
they
don't
were-
think you'd be able to. Can you accumulate it? Unless you sign like just a crack team and you accumulate enough points.
They should come back
into-
and sign the peeps.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that would
Yeah.
be
The peeps are insane.
The peeps have the Muffin Men kind of mentality too. Like, before
Yo, you heard it
they've
here
got that.
first.
C9 signing the
If
peeps.
we somehow called C9 coming back after this
my
merger,
God.
the peeps do really good. They place like top 3. And then
Right.
C9 are like, make an announcement that they're
alright.
picking up the
I
peeps.
don't
The
know
fact
if you
that
were
the
guys
peeps haven't
remember.
been signed yet means that, in my opinion, you're not that successful of a team and not have orgs at least talking to you. Like,
You know who I think's also going to hop in by next season? I don't know if you guys saw when we went free to play. Did you see T1 tweeting and being like, oh, well, like when the trailer came out, being like, oh, we might have to play some Rocket League.
I think I did actually.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
So they're pretty great in esports. They have a lot of, I'm fairly certain it's League of Legends teams. Don't quote me on that. But they're pretty big org and they're great. And I think they're gonna get involved too. So maybe if C9 doesn't pick up the peeps, they will.
I think I've heard that about them in Smash.
But I don't know if you guys remember when C9 left. I mean, everyone remembers when they left, but like the statement that was released was kind of at Psyonix, like subtweeting directly. Going, we want there to be more opportunities for the players, for the esports teams, for all of this stuff, and we don't feel like that's there. And then literally 2 weeks later is when they announced this new format and the prize pool shooting up from like what, 250,000 to 4 million.
The thing
And
4.5.
constant Rocket League and constant events.
I kind of feel like C9 would have already known about that though. I feel like they maybe just at the time had enough of it.
Well, they
I
were
think
No
also
way the
losing.
Orcs didn't know.
they were
Yeah, they
also
was-
losing, and they were also paying their players. Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but I have heard rumors that it was like they're paying their players like 10 grand a month.
Yeah, well,
So-
one of their
Also-
players is the highest played pro player in Rocket League.
Well,
One of
that's the
their
thing.
Yeah.
players.
Squishy's buyout, like on his contract, his buyout clause would have
your
been
worth.
crazy high as well.
That is
by
amazing, though,
by
for-
comparison. So they were
It's
a
like
losing
they're-
team, and nobody wanted.
Even
would
as a
have wanted
winning
to-
team, they weren't going to be making back like it simply just wasn't profitable
Yeah.
for how much they were having to pay their players for such a little prize pool, and
Yeah,
they weren't winning.
and they weren't
it was
winning.
just
and
it was just
C9
hurting
is
their
a winning
brand.
team, like
Do you know
winning org.
as well? I feel now since C9 left and obviously Squishy's gone to NRG, I feel bad for Torment and Gimmick and now AXB. Like they're a team, like version 1 are a team that I want to see do well, but they're just not doing it. Like I really
not.
want to see them succeed. I don't know.
Well, it was crazy because I don't know if you guys know this, but V1 is started by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, and he is huge. Like he is massively huge and influential and just like all over the place. And to see him want to get into esports alone and then get into Rocket League is massive. Like I want nothing but good things for that team.
I see that bunch of players and I'm like, I want to see them succeed, but I'd love it if they did as a team, but it's just not gone their way so far. But maybe it'll.
Yeah,
it
V1
will
has
next
been.
season. Speaking of next season, it's not going to be a Swiss format, right? Like each of the 3, not season, sorry, like next
Split.
Isn't each split a different format?
What? Why would they do this to me?
I
would they
believe
stick it?
every
I just
split
got
has
used
its
to
own
this.
format.
I remember that being a thing. Yes, I don't know if they're going to stick to that or not. But
'Cause-
yeah, they said each split is going to have a different format. That way,
So this
They
was
could-
fall. Let me click on winter.
I don't know
They
how.
haven't announced it. No, it says format to be announced. No.
Maybe
man.
maybe it's just to experiment and make it better each time. I get that.
I
It
couldn't.
will still be 3 regionals and a major though.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it won't be like what I heard is that because this one's a Swiss format, like next season will be a different type of bracket format. But I don't know what else they could do other than like a regular type seasonal format. I don't know how they could like a league
Like a
This
round
worked
robin.
so well
Why would they do
though. Yeah, I was like, I think that was announced when they were testing out Split for the first time. I think this worked out really well.
I wonder if they were thinking maybe the viewers could find it like that the Swiss format could become a bit like stagnant and a bit just repetitive and not as exciting. But in my opinion, it's been crazy exciting. Like it's
Right.
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah,
some
I think
teams
it's been great.
like
Speak
I
for
think
yourself.
it was Try was saying like there's some teams like bubble teams that have come out of the woodwork and doing
plot
really
twist.
well, and then there's like
Ghost
top
gaming.
teams that are just flopped. So
Hey, I think this is a moment that we can do something we haven't done on the podcast before. And after this comes out, we can do a tweet about this. Guys, do you like the Swiss format? For those of you listening, do you like the Swiss format, or is it a bit too confusing? Would you rather it go back to kind of the previous format or try something new?
Right. Like, well,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
previous format would being a round robin, I believe, where each team plays each other once, and then
Yeah, so let us know. Well, let us know on Twitter.
heck yeah. Which is at SSG Scuffedcast, which is most of our social medias, by the way. Just look it up. You might find us there. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe, or the account might be gone.
Exactly. One thing that has really impacted, aside from like this huge tournament that has drawn so many eyes to esports and Rocket League, which I feel bad that a lot of the player bases kind of has blinders up to it because it's so amazing. So I'm glad that it's getting more and more recognition. But speaking of like the player base and what it's done for content creators and people that have been in the scene for so long, just grinding and grinding and grinding. And we've always had like a certain idea of what was big in the Rocket League community, like how many viewers was considered like a substantial, or even views on YouTube was considered like a substantial YouTuber or Twitch streamer. But now I feel like that's gonna start changing. Like there's people that are averaging thousands of views in Rocket League now, not for esports, which is insane to think about. So I don't know. I mean, speaking of personal experience, does anybody want to like put into account, like Classy, anything about your videos or your inspiration that you've noticed change since the whole change?
Yeah, I haven't been as consistent with YouTube as I have been with Twitch. But I did post one video and it didn't get very many views, so I'm sad about that.
Oh, it's okay. I mean,
Bro.
you have to like, it's really like niche. I mean, obviously, dude, you have a lot more subscribers than I do on YouTube, so there'll be those videos that don't pop up. And right now, the trends are kind of leaning towards. Well, what was your new video about, if you don't mind me asking?
It was about the Llama Rama event, which,
Right.
I mean, yeah, like the baby bus or the battle bus and whatnot was very popular. A lot of people were getting tons of views on it, but I think I just came out a little bit late with that video.
It happens,
So-
definitely, when the spike of the search goes up. But I mean,
bro.
you live and you learn with content. I've been there. My newest video didn't do as well as the one previously, but I can take a positive out of it because I'm pretty sure it's going to be my first video to hit 10K views, which is really big for me.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Thank you. So
And something I've been doing is I forgot you can post on YouTube, kind of like it was Instagram or not Instagram, like it was Twitter. So I've been like, if I see your guys' video shared in the YouTube section of our Discord, I share it out. I'm like, go surround them in love.
Aww.
But like I just did a video with Preston and Brianna.
Using that.
And
Yeah,
I mean Preston and Brianna in terms of YouTube
that's a cute
subscribers, like
video.
Preston's main channel has like 15 million subscribers, and I I just did a video with them and with the free to play thing, and it's doing.
I was waiting. I was waiting for the
it's-
Trihouse flex of the week.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the flex section of the podcast.
This is an anti-flex because the video is doing simply okay. Like it's doing as well as the videos that take me like 4 hours tops to do from concept to end of production. So, and meanwhile, I pulled an all-nighter editing this to get this done at the same time as like Brianna's video because obviously I wanted to release it around the same time. And yeah, like so that can be disheartening when there's like you think all these things are in place for things. This is what upsets me with YouTube in general though, is that like sometimes the algorithm just doesn't hit or the thumbnail just doesn't. It's all about the thumbnail really on YouTube.
Right.
Like the thumbnail, if you don't have the best thumbnail, it's like, it doesn't matter how good your video is edited at the end of the day if nobody clicks on it.
Right. People won't click. I've noticed that. There are some videos where I'm like, like the quality of the thumbnail, it doesn't always reflect the quality of the video, but if you have a high quality thumbnail, people are going to click. And then as soon as they don't realize it, like maybe you'll see that reflected in your time watched or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where people don't realize how much that instant like view of something when somebody comes into your stream and sees your overlay, if they don't like it, some people will just click off because it's like, I don't like, my eyes don't like what I'm seeing right now, and they'll leave, right? But it's very finicky though. So that's something that I think people have to realize. Like sometimes people, it's not like they don't like you. It's like they don't give you a chance because you differ in aesthetics even, like, or the way that they enjoy viewing something. So I always like to keep that in mind, like when stuff doesn't do so well, or I have expectations for something, which is also something I try not to have. I try not to have expectations for things so it doesn't disappoint me ever, because I should always be proud of what I produce, So it can get really discouraging, but it's just part of the process. I think I always try to like zoom out and like look at the overall of everything to ground myself, because it's not a race, I'm not trying to like even after a massive host, it's like I know I'm not gonna go live and it's not gonna be 20,000 viewers again. It's gonna be a steady climb to retain people, to keep them coming back, and I still work hard regardless of like the outcome of that. So I think a lot of people could make use of that piece of advice, because it did definitely harm me in the beginning. I hurt myself,
with my videos that I work on, like a lot, like let's say I'm really proud of a video and I want it to do really well, then I'll spend like an extra amount of time making a really crispy thumbnail. But for the ones that it's just sort of like filler content, I tend to put less effort on purpose into the thumbnail in hopes that people that might not be as like hype about just a good old video won't click on it, because if they click on one of my worst videos,
it's a tactic.
It's like a tactic, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I don't want this video. I want this video to please my current audience, but I don't want this to be my first impression to new viewers.
Exactly.
Like,
Okay.
Yes.
It's just a video
because
for your
your
subscribers.
current audience is just happy to see you.
Taking notes.
Right. Like, I understand that. I can get that. Like, sometimes there are just moments that only your community would get. Like, what earlier when we were talking about watch parties and some people thinking, you're just rewatching something. How's that content? It's like, it's not that in the sense that it's content, it's for my community. It's for the people that are already here that want to watch this with me, because they've already been here before. So that's
exactly.
just, it's one of those things where, I totally get that. I totally understand that.
That's
But
something
not
I
on
struggle
YouTube.
with.
Yeah.
Also on YouTube this week, guys, something I just thought about was, so Epic Games is doing all these partnerships with top YouTubers. So, for instance, the most highly recommended video for anybody who watches Rocket League right now is Mr. Beast's Rocket League video.
I saw it.
Or any other top streamer or content creator that got sponsored by Epic Games to put out YouTube videos. So in terms of the OG YouTube Rocket League content creators, this week probably took a pretty big hit in terms of recommended content because of that stuff. So there's always that to consider. And
yeah, I saw a couple of different. I saw the Sidemen. They were they had a sponsored Rocket League video, and so I saw Mr. Beast as well. Yeah, I saw someone else as well, but I can't remember who.
And I find that's a trend on Twitch as well. Like, we're getting a lot of people coming over, streaming it for the first time that are at, a couple thousand viewers.
Oh, we had a couple people the first couple days after this happened, and a lot of them were like the Portuguese streamers and Spanish streamers, but they had like 10 million followers, and they were bringing like 50 to 70,000 views alone.
Yep.
To Rocket League on Twitch, and it trickles down. It's a trickle down effect. It is, because people will be like, hey, like, people come into streams that I'll see them if I'm watching or in my own or in other people, in the communities. They'll come in and be like, never really watched this before, but this is fun.
I saw somebody, I don't know if he's played Rocket League before. I think he's French, Gotaga, and I know him from years ago. He's an ex-Call of Duty pro, and he was playing Rocket League. He had like 10k viewers on the first day, and I don't know if he's played Rocket League before, but I believe he's one of the biggest French Twitch streamers, and he was playing Rocket League on release. But like I say, from like 7 or 8 years ago, I know him from being a Call of Duty pro. So just seeing people like it is pretty refreshing seeing all these numbers and streamers that you don't typically see, because they are the second that streamer stops, if those viewers are suddenly invested in the game, they're going to look for someone else to watch. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Before this,
JCap was the Call of Duty champion, and he was playing Rocket League and tweeted about it. Is that what you were talking about?
I've seen him playing Among Us recently as well.
That's funny. Yeah. What were you going to say, Widow? Sorry. I just wanted to get that in before.
No, I think beforehand, the only like super large streamer that I ever saw occasionally play Rocket League, like occasionally, I mean like some people pop in ever so often, but like maybe even once a month or like once every other month, was XQC. And it's crazy to see that just like regularly, like once a day at least, I see somebody who I've like a very large streamer that I've never seen play Rocket League pop into it. I remember, because I have a really bad habit of forgetting to turn off notifications for people or just having them on for like all eternity. But there are people that I knew when I first started streaming, and Twitch partners and things like that, who I swear to God have never touched the game.
Yeah.
And right after free to play, I got a notification from one of them. It popped up and it was like, playing Rocket League with friends. Let's go. And I was like, what?
Who is the notification thing broken? Like,
yeah, I was like, no, this, and I clicked it, and she was like, yeah, I love Rocket League, and she was like, and I just never really streamed it because I didn't know, and she, like, it wasn't ingenuine. She was like, I love Rocket League. She was like, I just never really streamed it because I didn't know if my audience would stick around. She was like, but after like the free to play announcement, so many people have been talking about it, and I'm like, oh, so you guys would watch this, and I think that's awesome.
To be fair, I think Scissors is the prime example of that. Like,
Scissors.
Yep.
He's obviously, in the past, he played Call of Duty, got massive on Fortnite, and he's just. But if you look at his channel, funnily enough, I was looking at this the other day because I was talking to Mercy about it, because he's just literally today just uploaded a video where he was playing with Scissors, and he was uploading Rocket League like 4 years ago on his channel, but
Yeah. He's always loved the game.
But he's just the prime example. Like, he's not big because of Rocket League. He's big because of other games. But so there's probably a lot of content creators out there that do play it that just don't show it because they don't think their audience would like it.
Well, because
Fun
Scissors
fact.
made the RLCS run. Him and Forky and somebody else one of the times made
Musty.
a and Noxus.
Oh, Noxus was Noxus.
Yeah, and Noxus made the run for RLCS. I mean, honestly, I think it was more for content, but that's not bad.
They did okay. Like,
Yeah, they did
They
okay.
held their own. It was all good.
But it's-
Scissors has more follows on his Twitch channel than the Rocket League channel has. Fun fact.
Yeah, like
He has more
completely.
followers than the
Yeah,
main Rocket League channel.
And he genuinely loves Rocket League, and so it's so, because even way before this free to play and all of this, he was always tweeting, who wants to play Rocket League? I want to do some Rocket League stuff. And I remember I had this conversation with someone the other day, but that I stand by, and that I'm really glad that free to play has changed. Beforehand, the problem that I would notice in chats with, as much as we love the Rocket League community, sometimes it's very gatekeepy on if you're streaming and content, like, and have a lot of views, you need to be good at the game, is what a lot of people have the impressions from. So anytime
You need to be great at the game.
Yeah, you need to be great at the game. You need to be the best in the world, and if not, why do you exist? But like streamers from other games who were larger streamers, specifically female streamers, but then other streamers that come from, you know, nicer communities or a variety of streamers would play Rocket League. They would bring in a lot of people, but then the chat would just come in and be like, what rank are you? Oh my God, how do you have 3,000 viewers and you're not even ranked? Why are you in a bronze lobby? And things like this. And that was regular. That was really regular, because the gatekeepy type of people would just flood those chats, because a lot of times other people are a little more scared to come in and talk. But what I love about, since free to play is just, it's an overwhelming amount of new people who are new to the game. And so when the large streamers are coming over, or when people are coming over and are bronze, and I know we touched on this last week, or diamond, but people are coming in, and the people who are more interested in just learning the game, and anything above bronze is amazing to them, or even bronze, outweigh the people going, why are you even playing if you're not Grand Champ 3, you know?
I had a guy come into my chat and he was like, hours, and I was like, oh, I got about 4,000 hours, and I get a little nervous when I say that because of, you know, the climate of Rocket League chats, and the guy goes, wow, this is what 4,000 hours look like, amazing. And I was just like, what? Wait, what? I was like, oh, thank you, I hope not for some people, like, I really hope not. I was like,
Neato, I'm dead.
I know, but it was
She's
so,
like, wait, what?
right, I was like, well, freaking thank you, man, what? I've never had anybody compliment me on my hours. It's usually like, wow, 4,000 hours, and you play like this, and I'm like, oh my God.
We sound so abused.
Right.
We sound so abused by the Rocket League community. We're so used.
There is so,
like,
honestly,
The Rocket League community is brutal, man.
Last
Like,
night,
it's brutal.
the positives of the Rocket League host outweighed the negatives. Obviously, you're going to have so many people that come through that are just there to troll or whatever, but it's so easy to get overshadowed by the negative stuff and have all these complexes because people like, you get 1 or 2 comments a day because somebody's like, wow, you're trash, your ranks are trash or something, and then it gets to you. But then you forget about all the people that were there to watch you, that compliment you the whole time, that, you know, it sucks because that's how your brain works. I actually just read something, or I heard it, but we're trained to find the negative of things to survive. Like, we are that's just human nature. So it is actually very hard to train yourself to look in the positives in things, because now we're not running away from predators. We don't have to be worried about a tiny sound that happens in the woods and run away from it because we have tools or whatever. But that's what happens. That's a natural response. You hear something negative and it just consumes you because you're worried about it. We're naturally doing that. So you have to
trying to adapt.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to constantly, like, change your mindset into not bogging yourself down with the 1 or 2, 3, 4 negatives that happens throughout your day, depending on the day.
And it's a daily reminder.
Yeah.
It's not something you're going to snap out of really quickly.
True.
Because, like you said, it's like embedded in human nature to, you know, point out the negative or the hurtful or things like that, so you can be aware. But it's really good to constantly remind yourself, and to remind yourself that it's okay, that you constantly need to remind yourself that you're doing great.
Right.
You're doing great.
Do you know what it is, though, with Rocket League as well? Because it's such a full-on game, like, your only downtime is in between games. You've literally not got any downtime while you're playing. So when it comes to Twitch, it's like, to be a Rocket League streamer and be entertaining and, like, be like as involved with your chat as possible whilst you're playing is extremely hard. And I think a lot of the viewers do just want it to see it for the gameplay. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why a lot of people in the community might be, like, so heavily invested in what ranks people are and the skill level of what they're watching and stuff, because it's hard to have that downtime where you can just be, like, as entertaining as you would be if you're not, you know, like, your person, like, let your personality sort of shine, sort of thing. So I could be way off the mark with that, but that's kind of a perspective.
No, you're right.
That
Like
I've seen
the majority of people want to watch people that are good at the game, like great at the game. And even, and what's funny is like even people at like lower ranks, they probably even shouldn't be watching pros in terms of like how to get better. Like they should be watching somebody that's a little closer and mechanical ability to themselves in terms of like how to get better. But
yeah, if you're a gold, you should be sort of looking at like diamond level and be aiming for that.
Like you don't need to be looking at how to flip reset at gold. You need to focus.
Yeah, half of gold's can't
okay.
flip reset.
Yell it louder. I don't know how many
Bro,
times
the number of
somebody's done-
plats that come into my chat and tell me they're freestylers. Like I hope one of you guys that's listening fits this description. If you're a plat too and you come into my chat and you call yourself a freestyler, you're not. You're just garbage.
I
God.
think he has time to listen to this
Right now.
podcast. He's in free play right now.
Yeah, he's a free play.
Yeah.
Dude.
I actually had a plat hit a flip reset on me though.
Well,
It's tragic.
I just
Yeah, but it's
I
the fact
don't-
that every plat says that they can do it. Or every
you
gold.
can. Maybe they
Exactly.
can't. The thing is, like in Rocket League, people don't ever put context to anything. They're just like rank. It's like you have to realize like you can work on anything. You can boot up Rocket League for the first time, load up a tutorial on how to do a ceiling shot, and learn how to spend your time learning how to do a ceiling shot. Obviously, you change your settings, whatever, make it work, and you do it. And he could have 20 hours in the game, but he knows how to ceiling shot. Like that, if people don't put that two and two together, like you can really just learn anything, and that doesn't correlate with your rank. I think the important thing that you guys were getting at before was the type of viewer. Rocket League has a lot of viewers that want to watch the esport. They'll watch Squishy and Justin, all the pros, blah, blah, blah. So then they try and branch out and they see all these other people with bigger viewers and they don't understand community streamers very much. So they have that animosity. They're like, wait, what? Why are people watching this? I would never watch something like this skill. Why are all these other people watching it? So it's like they can't get it into their heads. Like some people just don't have that empathy, and then they kind of are mean about it. But I think if everyone realizes that, there are gonna be viewers that don't like your content, but it's not because of you.
Yeah.
It's not because you're bad, like you're a rank, you know. It's because they just prefer something else. But I try and let them know that. I'm like, you don't have to be here. You don't gotta watch.
They want to
bro.
see the breezy flicks.
Right.
That's what they want.
I spent a little while trying to learn how to breezy flick. We watched your Classy's tutorial on stream. It was
Which-
really,
Oh yeah, you did.
yeah, I did. Hell yeah. So it was really cute. But
just wanna come
Classy
with
just
a
goes into my
public
stream and just hits
service
breezies on
announcement.
me in middle of tournaments. So it's
Yeah,
that's cool.
I joined Trihouse's 1v1 tournament. Eliminated
I got him first round.
First round. Yeah,
That's so sad.
I got him. I was like, man, I literally 10 seconds before, I was like, man, I get seeded the worst seeds in all of my tournaments. This is going to be like, I know it. This is why I don't play my own 1v1 tournaments. As soon as the tournament starts up, it says Sir Classy. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And sure enough, he hit a breezy flick on me
God dang it.
immediately.
I hate like taking part in my own 1v1 tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
They're super like, I don't know. There's something about them because I'm not a ones player. Obviously, Neato and Classy probably
Yeah, I was
love
about to
doing
say,
that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But
Just kidding.
No.
no, I don't know. But to be fair, I've not streamed since free to play. But with tournaments being fixed now, I probably will.
It's nice because you can just go and
participate.
spectate.
Well,
You don't feel so bad. I definitely would feel
And-
bad. I'm
oh
like,
my
God,
God.
dang it. I didn't make it
People-
to at least the semifinal, and now I have to make a whole new tournament, and people are sad.
Although I have told myself that this season I'm going to aim to play like loads of ones, and I kind of want to stick to it. It's the one thing that I kind of want to stick to this season.
Yay!
How many have you
Stop
played
it.
so far?
This season, I've literally
Yeah.
played like 20 games of anything this season. I've barely played, to be honest. I've just been like focusing on.
How many games of Rocket League did you guys play last season? It was a pretty long season, right?
Oh,
I
God.
played about-
didn't look it up.
I played about threes is my main playlist, and I played about 600 games of ranked. That's all. Like in
Oh.
5 months, that's all.
Well,
2000.
yeah, a lot. Because the 1 year challenge every day in like 8 hours, and I'm usually just playing Rocket League the whole time. So A
So
lot.
many. I do
A
25
10?
1v1
lot.
games every time I do my 1v1 streams, so I have a queue that's 25 people long, usually fills up.
I tend not to
I-
play that much Rocket League, to be honest. I do spend more time either watching it, especially this season. I've been watching RLCS and the Grid almost every day, it feels like. And then, like, focusing on content, like creating content, so like video content, not streaming content.
And you're on
So
Gamers
I
Ready too, right, Veeds?
Just started, yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
right.
I'm proud of you, dude.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Have you coached anyone yet?
Nah, it's not actually. Alex hasn't announced it yet. So
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, no worries.
no, it's announced.
So-
I've announced it, but it's not been announced.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like on their side yet.
ranked matches. I played 1,800 matches.
In total.
Yeah, something like.
I'm not a ranked warrior.
Close
I
to
definitely didn't play a
1,500
lot
of those were
ranked.
hoops.
Oh my god.
I had about 1,000 1v1 games last season.
You saw a lot
I
of
am-
improvement though, right? In your rank.
I am the biggest hypocrite in the universe. Every people come into my chat and they're like, what do you recommend for getting better at Rocket League? And I'm like, spend more time in free play and training than you spend in ranked. And I am in ranked constantly, crying.
Wait, Widow, how many hours do you have? With how much you stream, how many hours in Rocket League do you have?
Guess. I've been, January, I've been playing for 2 years.
I'm gonna
So right now I've been
say
playing for 21 months.
1.3 bajillion minutes.
That's probably pretty
on
close.
Steam, you've probably.
She's got 4,500, I bet. No, I'll say 4,000.
Oh no, I'm underperforming then. No, I'm at on Steam because I switched PC
Steam.
about 14 months ago. I'm at 2,100.
Wait, that's actually a lot less than I would have thought.
But it's still, look, think about
20,
this.
well,
I
2,100 in a year, and then I had 500 on Xbox. So in 21 months, I'm at about 2,600 hours.
I'm
That's
just
How
gonna
do I
check
have
mine.
3,500 hours in Rocket League?
You're a baby, Try. That's why. Sorry.
I don't understand. 3,500. It doesn't.
I just got to.
I know Widow plays more.
Well,
I
I
just
switched.
got-
Oh, it's probably
to-
because I just leave my computer on for days.
I switched to PC last March. No. Like March of last year, I should say.
But Try, you started playing before me.
And I've only got 1,700 hours. But
Really?
on PS4, I've probably got about 3,000 or 4,000.
I've got
I
over
always say half my hours are
9,000.
You actually?
yeah.
I
Do you
just wanted
really?
to say that. No, I don't.
Oh,
How many did you have,
friends
Classy?
at-
I got over 4,000. Boom.
Man.
That's
Now you
Rainy
just
is at
flexing.
86.
It wasn't
Rainy
that
is at
epic after
8,600.
9,000.
8,600 hours.
Rainy is at 8,600.
My friend
still
Zach is at
beating them
11,000.
It was a one-off fluke, Classy. Don't
He does a lot of
No,
trading.
no,
though.
no.
don't biggie yourself up.
I have
Oh
proof.
my god.
It's still an insane amount of hours considering I have 4K and I have been playing, I guess, on my. I don't think regularly because I didn't have my own computer, but since 2015. So I'm 4K hours, and I think the last 2 years I've probably accumulated, yeah, maybe half, a little bit less than half of those hours.
I mean, I'll add 300 more hours to this over the next 3 weeks. So it goes in phases.
I might have to have a look at, like, at the end of the month. I'm gonna look at Widow's Steam, and like it says like how many hours they've had in the last 2 weeks. It's gonna be on like 250 hours somehow. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm doing the majority of it's Rocket League, so probably.
Speaking of Rocket League, obviously this whole podcast is about Rocket League. I was gonna bring up that the Gift Your Game app came out with an update that basically made it like a little mini version of Rocket League TikTok, but it's just clips. Like you can just upload. The best thing about it, I think, is when you can just like clip stuff from Gift Your Game and it appears on your phone, and I can have it.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing ever.
And
yeah,
it's actually the best app that's like a mirror of TikTok. Like whenever they were going to close TikTok, I scrambled to find another app that does something as good or similarly to TikTok, and every single other one was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like by far was trash.
right.
The Gift Your Game app is almost identical in how you upload and everything. Like it doesn't have like the music syncing and all that.
Right.
But I've never cared about that. I just use it to upload video game clips.
Mm-hmm.
How goddamn much are they paying you, Trihouse? Like, what?
Yeah, how
Big
much?
plug right there. Oh my god.
I
just thought it was cool.
They're not.
For the community.
Honestly,
They're not, sadly, but they should. They should
just
get me
messing.
verified on Gift for Game. Angry Arthur.
Honestly,
See how
Yeah.
many tweets people are pushing out, like, verify me on
Yeah, I
different game. It's not even a thing yet.
I've been using the GIF Your Game mobile app for about a year, but since that update, I've not used it.
Yeah, that was me too. man.
Veeds.
Because I use it to upload my clips to Instagram. So I've always
Right.
downloaded them from the mobile app onto my phone and then uploaded them to Insta. But since the update, I've honestly not even downloaded the update for it. And then I still didn't download TikTok. I don't know what it is.
Don't go down the rabbit hole, Veeds.
I
If you
think it's
start on
really
TikTok-
interesting to look at the instances of the Rocket League community on different platforms, because I think a long while ago, Fluent had conducted a little survey, like what do you play, PC or console? On Twitter, it was mostly PC. The result was mostly PC. On Instagram, the results were mostly console people. So like there's like a huge demographic change. Like people who use Instagram, there's a huge Rocket League community on Instagram that just posts clips and they post on the Rocket League. They basically just meme in the comments in the Rocket League Instagram, but like it's a different mindset. They have different priorities. They're all casual players or freestylers, for instance, because they post clips. Twitter, it's all, like conversation based. The pros are there. You can physically interact with a pro. You can literally message them and they'll message you back and have a conversation, right? So, or make relationships that way. You can do that on Instagram in a way, but it's a little bit less saturated with professionals, and it's more like there are people who are popular on Instagram for Rocket League that have thousands and thousands of followers, but they're just like these. They're not pros. They're just clip hitters. And they don't get recognized by Pulse either because they don't have a big enough community anywhere else. It's just Instagram. So it's kind of weird or interesting, I should say, not weird, to see like the way that the collective community on different platforms is. On Twitch, it's a whole different thing. Viewers, and then you have YouTube people who just perpetuate their ideas and stuff in comments and whatever. So I don't know if you guys have had experience with different communities. Trihouse, I know you're on TikTok a lot, so I mean I know what the TikTok community is like. It's not my favorite, as we discussed last.
It's full of papagas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It's like
Oh no!
I'm very transparent with what I want on TikTok, and it's growth. I have the comment section on my posts. So everybody thinks that I post clips with Fearless, like the Fortnite Fearless, because they can't process that there is somebody named Fearless that plays Rocket League who is not the person that they're used to on Fortnite and everything. I always tag my videos. I at him, Fearless, the Fearless I play with. I at him in my videos in the description or in the comments. People consistently tell me I tagged the wrong Fearless. And then I'm like, no, I didn't. And then they're like, yes, you did. This is Fearless's tag. And I'm like, it's papagas. It's papagas.
Yeah, I had one TikTok blow up, and it was a sarcastic TikTok. It was like a Russian song, and I put lyrics over it. Any TikTok, you literally put whatever caption you want it to actually convey. But because it was Russian, I put English caption that didn't mean it. It was a joke. The whole 90% of it, that's not what it means. That's not. I speak Russian. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. That's not that's the only reason why it blew up. I mean, obviously, I had people who were like, "This is cool. You did a really good interpretation. I find this funny." The people that understood my joke, but it was so many people that were trying to just correct me, and I was like, I was being sarcastic, and they're like, "Oh,
use that."
And they don't respond.
I welcome it though because it debates an interaction.
Yeah, I was like, well, time to be
TikTok
sarcastic.
recommends.
I started holding my controller wrong because people would get mad that I was holding my controller wrong. Because when you're a girl on TikTok, you get comments like, "Your controller's not on. You're not even playing the game." It's like, what do you want me to do? Film a TikTok and then also be in a ranked match, sweating my what are you even thinking? What is the process? I'm making a TikTok, so I have to turn on my controller. I'm not even playing a game every time I film a TikTok because I'm afraid that some kid is gonna come into my comments and it's like, your controller's not on, LMAO. Do you even know how to turn it on?
I would purposely, if something debates comments, I make sure to redo whatever that is. Like, I consistently play with the Nissan Skyline because if I scroll through the comments right now, over half the comments on my recent clips are, "What car is that? How do you get that car?
Right.
Can I trade for that?"
Because the epic people can't have it.
Yeah, so many people don't know what card that I'm playing with that it debates an interaction. So TikTok keeps recommending it over people that are just using a stock tane. And
That's why I keep playing Heatseeker on stream lately. Everyone keeps coming into stream and they keep going, "What is this?
I have
Where is
so
this?
many
Is this
people
a
that
new
are
mode?"
like,
Or people coming and going, "Wait, this is back." And I'm like, "Nope, you can only play it in private matches and tournaments."
Oh, that's cool.
and the same thing with Heatseeker. Anything that I can do to debate a question, anything like that. If you guys are trying to do good on TikTok, that's the method, is find ways to people ask questions, and rinse and repeat that method. I also, the same reason I use the underglow. With my current design on my car, I actually don't think the underglow looks as clean as it used to. I still keep it on because even like a diehard Rocket League fan will see that clip and be like, "Wait, you can get underglow now?" Or how are you doing that?
Right.
Because even people that have Bacchus mod. Yeah, same with Rainbow Car. Like, they're like, "How is your car changing colors?" And it's just like one thing that I do, and it works. Because I've posted clips in the Dominus before with just a normal Dominus and just doesn't,
So
just doesn't pop.
This has been quite, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff happening in Rocket League over the weeks. I think we'll continue to see what it turns into. Is there anything you guys want to add before we wrap it up today? I thought, like,
I really gotta take a piss.
Classy.
Please
leave that in the
that was
podcast.
so classy of you.
So classy.
I'm just saying, I'm holding it in.
I want to
Sorry.
take a second and do a really, really big shout out
Sure.
to Rocket League and Rocket League Esports
Yes.
for hosting myself and Neato both on separate days with about 45,000 viewers. Because you guys changed our lives.
I mean,
I think that's incredible.
yeah,
Dibs on the next host.
right? Take them up. I mean, here's
You
the
gotta be
thing.
live when Rocket League ends.
Do
Watch party?
Just messing.
Classy, do it when there's an EU stream.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then, like,
Watch
name
party,
my title.
and then when the watch party's over, just switch back to Rocket League. And if it happens, it happens. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like I said before,
I thought they talked
try
to you
not
guys beforehand or
No,
something.
I try not to expect
I
anything.
did think
We
that
didn't
as well,
even
to be
get-
fair.
We didn't even get a warning.
No.
I got a waiting coming
I
in my
had
chat.
a
Get ready.
heart
And I was like,
attack.
what are you talking about waiting? What do you mean?
I was in the middle of a Rumble match, in the middle of a like kind of deep conversation with my viewers, and my chat just disappeared
was like,
with
zoop.
follow
Yep.
notifications. It all came in before the alert came through, and my jaw unhinged to the floor. I just stared. A word did not come out of my mouth for like a minute and a half.
I just kept saying, yo. I was like, yo.
It's just so
I tried.
Yo.
No, the funniest thing is because I play the non-copyright sounds gaming playlist in the background until
Yeah.
I haven't had time to like curate my own since the stupid DMCA stuff. So it often changes moods dramatically. It'll be like really high bass, or then it'll be these really slow songs. And literally in the clip with my jaw unhinged, it's like this like meaningful music in the background, and it's like the moment you've been waiting for. And I'm not joking, and I'm just, my jaw's dropping and my chat's flooding, and I just Thank you guys. Thank you, Rocket League.
Yeah,
Thank you.
honestly, it's kind of wild. But I think that it's one of those things where you got to make the most of it after it happens. And with Widow, she has this 400-hour challenge she's doing, and it just helps generate that growth. You're already streaming again the next day, for so long, so you
And-
can keep those people coming back. And it's always about, providing the same quality every time and keeping at it and never worrying about, or having those expectations.
Moral of that story is if you want success on Twitch, stream 400 hours.
Right, you have
no,
to.
it's bad.
Joking. Please don't.
Yeah, actually,
please don't. Please
yes.
don't. I have signed my soul away to so many things, including a 1-year challenge and a 400-hour challenge. I don't recommend it.
Different things work for different people.
It's worth it, and I'm grateful, and everything's different. But don't. That is a complete meme. That is 100% a joke. Don't do it. Don't hold me accountable. Don't come crying to me when you lose your mind.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But as we wrap things up, I'd like to remind you, friends, that you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and now Apple Music, all through anchor.fm/SSG scuffedcast. So from there, you should be...
And don't forget to respond to the Twitter.
Yeah, right,
Don't forget to let us know. Do you like the Swiss format? Do you want it to go back to the old one? Or would you like to see something new?
Yes. From there, you should be able to find our individual socials too, from the Anchor link. But yeah, we love all the feedback we get from each cast, so please keep it coming. And thank you guys all for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 All right, I'm gonna piss my pants if I don't run.
You gotta run, dude.
Go.